Jackson, Mississippi is now the fastest shrinking city in America. The latest census revealed that the city's population has dropped below 150,000, a figure not seen since 1970. Between 2021 and 2022, Jackson experienced a significant decline of 3,766 residents, solidifying its position as the United States' most rapidly shrinking city. Interestingly, this unfortunate title was previously held by San Francisco until Jackson encountered a series of ongoing challenges, including one of the highest murder rates in the country. Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba acknowledged that the city's water system was plagued by long overdue maintenance and a staff shortage. Last year, heavy rainfall resulted in flooding, which changed the chemical composition necessary for water treatment. To make matters worse, an aging water treatment plant sustained damage, and the water pressure plummeted to such an extent that residents were unable to perform basic tasks such as bathing, cooking, and even flushing toilets.
As of today, we have seen some gains within the system. The hardworking men and women at our water treatment facility have been optimistic about the progress that has been taking place. However, we are still in an emergency, will be an emergency even as the water is restored to every home, and even as the boil water notice is lifted, because that is the fragile state of our water treatment facility.
This water crisis persisted for several weeks, leaving the population distressed and in need of outside help. In less than a year following the water crisis, there was a dispute between Mayor Lumumba and the city council members regarding a garbage collection contract. The dispute escalated to the point where trash collection was suspended entirely in April.
You're suspended for a week.
Jackson declared a public health crisis, adding to the city's long list of problems. It took over a month for residents to see their trash picked up again. And this was only after a new temporary contract was finally established. So, what exactly are shrinking cities? Shrinking cities are urban areas that undergo a significant population decline, resulting in economic stagnation and social challenges.
And I know it's a challenge for my competitors.
Famous examples include Detroit in the United States, Liverpool in the United Kingdom, and Essen in Germany. These cities have confronted issues ranging from deindustrialization to suburbanization. Once thriving industrial powerhouses, many shrinking cities have faced economic decline as industries relocated to other regions or countries. The rise of suburbs has also contributed to urban population decreases, with people seeking more space and improved living conditions outside city centers. Additionally, low birth rates and an aging population have played a role in cities like Nagasaki, Japan, which faces a financial crisis due to the world's lowest fertility rate in the country.
Population theorists out there screaming at everybody as in we are going to have too many humans. That's actually opposite if you look at data. In fact, what the data tells us, both for the birth rates of women, the sizes of families, and also the fertility issues with women, we're on a decrease. Why does this matter? And I'll tell you why this matters. A lot of people forget that for a society to exist, you need young working class people. You need people, at least in this system as we have it today, we need young working people to pay for in the future.
Globalization and the shift towards a service-based economy have contributed to the concentration of wealth and jobs in larger cities, leaving smaller cities struggling to compete and retain residents and businesses. The consequences of the decline of shrinking cities are multifaceted.
It has been a lifetime struggle.
High unemployment rates and a lack of investment are common challenges, leading to economic stagnation. As populations decline, cities find it difficult to maintain their infrastructure. That's why the cities begin seeing a deterioration of essential services like roads and public transportation. To overcome these challenges, shrinking cities must find innovative ways to attract new businesses, retain residents, and revitalize their economies. They must invest in infrastructure, education, and healthcare to create an environment conducive to growth and prosperity.
Superhero.
By doing so, these cities can work towards reversing their decline and rebuilding vibrant communities for their residents. And as unemployment rates continue to rise, shrinking cities often face increased crime rates, poverty, and social unrest, as well as a decline in buildings and educational and healthcare services. Abandoned buildings and vacant lots can have a detrimental impact on shrinking cities, such as urban decay and environmental degradation. Youngstown, Ohio, in particular, has experienced a staggering 18.4% decline in population from 2010 to 2020, making it a city heavily affected by this problem. The negative reputation associated with shrinking cities is not unfounded. Most cities rely on property taxes and government funding to generate revenue. However, not all municipalities can sell bonds or impose income taxes.
My favorite stock is NASDAQ.
When a city's population decreases, the government's property tax revenue diminishes for two straightforward reasons. Firstly, with fewer people living in the city, there are fewer homes available to be taxed, and that reduces the amount of property tax collected by the city government. Plus, the decline in population results in reduced demand for housing, causing a decrease in property values for existing homes.
In fact, all the taxes for the most part come from body-able working people, people of youth who are able to put in 30, 40 years of their life into the tax system. Have Social Security, the economies will slow down, productions will slow down, and the fact that you won't have physical people to put within the system.
The deteriorating infrastructure in shrinking cities poses significant challenges in attracting new businesses. Abandoned buildings often become hotspots for criminal activities, and inadequate public services drive away current residents from the city as they hope to find better services in other cities.
Way better.
A decrease in employment opportunities is another consequence of city shrinkage. As the population continues to shrink, there are fewer residents available to meet the job demands of local companies. Consequently, companies may relocate to cities where their former workforce has migrated. The remaining residents in shrinking cities tend to be older and have lower levels of education compared to those who have the means to leave. So now there are new difficulties in attracting companies as the city lacks the skilled workforce necessary for business growth. Typically, the residents who remain in shrinking cities are low-income households who rely more heavily on city resources.
I'll have to rely on these eyes.
This places additional strain on the city's limited resources and contributes to the ongoing challenges faced by shrinking cities. Due to the significant portion of tax revenue spent on supporting these low-income households, there is little left to reinvest in the city. As a result, public infrastructure and investments aimed at attracting new residents are not paid attention to, and the city then goes into urban decline. And then, more funds are channeled into social services, thus perpetuating the cycle. The shrinking city becomes trapped in a downward spiral that is challenging to break free from. Despite the best efforts, shrinking cities can experience economic deterioration, causing significant harm.
Of causing way more harm than good.
It is no wonder that many cities are actively striving to reverse this trend and escape the negative consequences of shrinkage. So, what can these cities do to retain and grow their population? Well, there are strategies that can tackle the issue of shrinking cities. First and foremost, cities should focus on diversifying their economies. It's essential to move away from relying too heavily on a single industry and instead create a more resilient economic base. Take Pittsburgh, for instance. They successfully shifted from a steel-focused economy to one prioritizing healthcare, education, and technology.
Well, I think we recognize that in general, the diversification of the output of our resource economy is extremely important. Adding more value to our resource products before they're exported is in everybody's best interest. We may not be able to get there in every area today, but it is part of the long-term focus, and we need to do that by being more innovative, by ensuring that we have the right product to get to the right markets, and we have the transportation solutions to bring those two components together.
Investing in urban renewal projects is another practical approach. By revitalizing city centers and making them attractive to new residents and businesses, cities can breathe new life into their communities.
When I say I'm ready to start a new chapter, I'm serious.
Bilbao in Spain is an excellent example. The construction of the Guggenheim Museum transformed the city's image and brought about a positive impact on the economy. Like Spain, many European cities have started offering incentives to foster a business-friendly environment, enticing new industries and jobs. Leipzig is a prime example. It became a thriving hub for renewable energy and creative industries, attracting investment and stimulating economic growth. Some cities have also embraced the concept of smart shrinking, which involves carefully downsizing and reorganizing urban spaces to better serve a smaller population.
Serve, slay.
One effective way to achieve this is by supporting small businesses and entrepreneurs, as they can create new jobs and drive economic development. Governments can also invest in education and research institutions. These institutions can help attract talent and foster innovation. For example, Aalborg in Denmark invested heavily in its university and research facilities. The city successfully transformed from an industrial center to a knowledge-based economy. Capitalizing on unique cultural and historical assets is another strategy. Matera in Italy experienced a resurgence in tourism after being recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the European Capital of Culture.
It's a whole cultural experience.
Cities should also realize that sustainable urban planning is crucial. By implementing strategies that enhance the quality of life for residents and promote resilience, shrinking cities can create thriving and livable communities. For a city to thrive, it needs active participation from the public. Collaboration between the public and private sectors is crucial in leveraging their respective resources and expertise to tackle the challenges faced by the city. Shrinking cities can learn valuable lessons from successful examples of cities that have managed to reverse their decline. By examining the strategies employed by these cities, they can adapt and apply them if possible. Leipzig, a city in East Germany, experienced significant challenges as its population and economy declined for several decades.
Respectfully decline.
However, through innovative strategies and effective urban planning, Leipzig managed to undergo a remarkable transformation. It evolved into a bustling metropolis with a growing population and a flourishing economy. One of the critical factors that played a pivotal role in Leipzig's turnaround was its focus on attracting and retaining residents.
We had huge demographic change, so a lot of outflow of mostly younger people, and also a decline in population of Leipzig. But with a positive narrative, so being the core of a reunification movement also in Eastern Germany, in beginning of this century, it came better, and also positive narrative, meaning innovation, and we had some larger companies coming in as well, and now we have a growing population again, and also a very good link between the rural areas around the city linked more to the city center. So we now, like last month, announced that we're now back to 600,000 inhabitants again.
In the early 2000s, there was a noticeable influx of young people migrating from rural areas and smaller cities to larger East German cities like Berlin, Dresden, Leipzig, and Erfurt. These individuals were attracted to the educational and job opportunities offered by Leipzig and the comparatively affordable housing it provided compared to other major German cities. To capitalize on this trend, Leipzig made substantial investments in urban regeneration projects, yielding positive results in the 2000s. These projects included the revitalization of the Central Railway Station, restoration of the historic inner city, construction of a new trade fair complex at the northern edge of the city, and improvements to rail and highway connections.
Continuous improvement.
These projects not only enhanced the city's appeal to potential residents, but also created a more vibrant and dynamic urban environment. What drove Leipzig's transformation was its commitment to developing a diverse and sustainable economy.
That's commitment.
The city recognized that solely relying on traditional industries such as heavy manufacturing and lignite mining would not suffice for long-term growth. Instead, Leipzig sought to attract a mix of industries, including creative and knowledge-based sectors, which could provide a more stable economic foundation. The city worked to create a supportive environment for businesses and entrepreneurs. Leipzig went on to offer financial incentives, such as tax breaks and subsidies, as well as providing access to affordable office and commercial space.
Super affordable.
Additionally, Leipzig invested in the development of its workforce, with a focus on education and training programs that would equip residents with the skills needed to succeed in the modern economy. Some also say Leipzig's efforts to revitalize its economy were made easier by its strategic location in central Germany. The city made significant improvements to its transportation system, allowing it to regain its position as a central hub for trade and commerce, connecting Eastern and Western Europe. Recognizing the importance of nurturing a strong sense of community and cultural identity, Leipzig took steps to preserve and promote its rich history and vibrant arts scene. By investing in cultural institutions like museums, galleries, and theaters, the city maintained its unique charm, appealing to both residents and visitors. Addressing the challenges of urban sprawl and the decline of its infrastructure was another priority for Leipzig.
This is a priority.
The city adopted a strategy to downsize its infrastructure, adapting to a smaller population while ensuring a high quality of life. Vacant buildings and brownfield sites were transformed into green spaces and community facilities, enhancing the city's aesthetics and creating a sustainable and enjoyable urban environment. Engaging with residents and stakeholders played a crucial role in Leipzig's approach to managing urban shrinkage.
I would love to management that for you.
The city understood that a successful transformation required the support and involvement of the community, so it actively included citizens in the planning and decision-making processes. This collaborative approach ensured that the city's development strategies aligned with the needs and priorities of its residents. We hope shrinking cities can avoid falling into one crisis after the other by adopting the changes made by Leipzig. So there you have it. Thanks a bunch for watching. Be sure to leave a comment, and before you go, why not like and subscribe? See you next time.